There's a reason your eyes open between 3 and 5 a.m., not just once, but often. When the world is still asleep, something stirs your soul awake. Not noise, not fear, but a gentle whisper in the dark, a summons. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains." But what if this hour isn't your pain? What if it's the whisper before the storm you didn't see coming? The call to rise before the light touches the sky, because something within you is being prepared, not for survival, but for awakening. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., time feels different. The air is quiet. The noise of the day hasn't yet begun. It's in these hours, when the veil between your thoughts and your soul thins, and many people find themselves inexplicably awake again and again, wondering why. But what if this isn't random? What if it's sacred? A divine appointment missed night after night because no one told you. You're not being disturbed. You're being called. C.S. Lewis believed that the human soul is shaped in the shadows, not by comfort, but by invitation to courage. This hour is not a mistake, it is a summons, and if you wake during it, it may be because your spirit has been chosen to listen, to protect, to heal, to act. In this video, we're not just going to explain what waking up between 3 and 5 a.m. might mean. We're going to help you honor it with 3 transformative practices that can open your life to divine insight, peace, and strength you didn't know you had, because you are not alone. And if you're listening, you've already started answering. Before we begin, if something inside you has ever whispered, "There's more to this moment than I understand," then this video was meant to find you. So take a deep breath, like this message was written just for your soul. And if you feel that pull in your heart, pause for a moment and press the like button. It lets us know you're here, listening, and ready. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join us at Self-Decode, where your inner life becomes the map to something far greater. Don't panic. Pause and listen. When your eyes flutter open at 3:17 a.m., your first instinct might be to check the time, sigh, and wrestle your pillow back into place. But not tonight. Tonight, try this instead. Stay still. Notice the silence. Let it speak, because in the stillness of this hour, the world is quieter, not just outside, but inside you too. And in that quiet, something sacred waits. C.S. Lewis believed the soul is not a machine that runs on noise and logic. It's more like a garden, watered not with busyness, but with stillness. And sometimes, God uses the dark hours to till that soil. What if waking at this time isn't a mistake, but an invitation? There's a reason so many awaken during these hours. It's when your ego sleeps but your soul is alert. It's when heaven finds fewer distractions to reach you. In ancient spiritual traditions, this was known as the fourth watch, a time for divine encounters, sacred messages, and battles of the spirit unseen by daylight eyes. When you wake during these hours, don't rush to label it insomnia. Don't bury it with distractions. Instead, give it the dignity of a deeper question. What is trying to reach me right now? Sometimes it's not about asking. Sometimes it's about allowing. Lie still, breathe deeply, and listen. You may not hear words, but the whisper in your chest, the quiet tug in your spirit, that is where the real conversation begins. As Lewis once wrote, the real problem is not why some pious, humble, believing people suffer, but why some do not. Suffering and wakefulness are often not curses, they're sacred interruptions. So, tonight if you're awake, don't scroll, don't suppress, just listen. Because grace doesn't always knock. Sometimes it whispers and waits. Speak into the silence, but not with your mouth. First, now that you've paused and listened, you might feel something stirring inside. An ache, a memory, a question you've buried beneath the noise of daylight. This is the moment your soul is most open. And yet, you don't need to rush into words. This hour is sacred not because you speak, but because you're finally able to hear. Still, once you've listened, you must respond, and the response begins with your heart. C.S. Lewis once said, "We must lay before him what is in us, not what ought to be in us. This isn't the time to recite perfect prayers or pretend you're fine when you're crumbling. This is the hour for raw truth. If you're grieving, whisper your grief. If you're doubting, admit your doubt. If you're lonely, say it out loud. You don't need eloquence, you need honesty. Sit at the edge of your bed or lie flat in the dark and let your spirit begin to speak. Let your soul pray the prayers your mouth doesn't know how to form. In the silence, say something simple. I'm listening, Lord. Or, speak, I'm ready. And then, slowly, offer the questions that ache most. What do I do with this? Fear? Why do I feel unseen? What am I being prepared for? This is when heaven leans in, not to punish, but to partner. In the scriptures, Jacob wrestled with God during the night and refused to let go without a blessing. He didn't wrestle with polite words, he wrestled with his entire being, and in that struggle, he was renamed, transformed, given a destiny. If your soul is restless at this hour, perhaps it too is being renamed, but only if you stay awake long enough to receive it. So speak, but not to impress. Speak to express, to connect. Say what's real. That's where transformation begins. Create the morning before it arrives. The world doesn't begin when the sun rises. It begins when you rise, in spirit. Between 3 and 5 a.m., you're not just awake, you've been summoned, not to watch the morning come, but to shape it. C.S. Lewis believed we are not merely observers of the world, we are co-creators. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream, he wrote. So while the rest of the world sleeps, you get to dream with your eyes open. You get to speak life into your day, your future, your soul. This is not fantasy. This is sacred responsibility. If you're awake right now, take it seriously. Speak into your morning. Today, I am not alone. Today, I release what no longer serves me. Today, I choose peace over panic and faith over fear. There is great power in the words you speak while the world sleeps, because in this quiet, they go further. They plant deeper. They echo longer. The ancient Hebrews believed that words had the power to build or break the day before it began. Science calls it intention. Spirituality calls it alignment. But Lewis would have called it communion. So speak into the silence, like someone planting seeds before the first light. Say what you want to grow, and then listen once more. Maybe you'll hear nothing. Or maybe you'll hear the faintest flicker of guidance, a name, a thought, an idea that had no place during daylight's chaos, but makes perfect sense in this holy hush. This hour belongs to those who dare to dream while others drift, to those who co-create with God in the shadows. If you wake again tomorrow, wake with intention. Don't wait for the day to shape you. Shape it before it begins. If you've been waking between 3 and 5 a.m., you are not broken. You are being beckoned. Something eternal is stirring within you. A quiet invitation to rise, not just from your bed, but from the sleep of your spirit. C.S. Lewis wrote, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. But perhaps it's not just hardship. Perhaps it's silence, restlessness, that holy discomfort nudging your soul in the dark. Perhaps that too is preparation. If you felt isolated in these hours, like no one sees you, hears you, understands the weight you carry, know this: you are not forgotten. You are being remembered by the divine. And the wake-up call you keep receiving? It is not from the world. It is from something far deeper, from the one who made you and still calls you by name. Each time you wake between 3 and 5 a.m., you have a choice: to roll over and forget, or to rise and remember, because this is not about sleep. It's about awakening. And maybe, just maybe, your soul is already doing that. Tonight, if it happens again, don't fear the stillness. Step into it, not with answers, but with willingness. Let your breath become your prayer. Let your silence become your surrender. And let your soul become the place where heaven whispers, "You are not alone." If this message spoke to something deep inside you, if it felt like it knew you before you knew yourself, then don't. Let it fade. Tap the like button so the message continues to reach others waking up with questions and aching hearts. Leave a comment and tell us, have you ever woken up between 3 and 5 a.m.? What did you feel? And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Self-Decode, where we speak the language of the soul, inspired by voices like C.S. Lewis and guided by light that begins before the sun ever rises. Your awakening matters. You matter. And your story is still being written. One early hour at a time.